He was locked it. He locked it. So you came up. That was my way of saying. No. Can you guys put those in and talk at the same time? Did everyone have time to look at that wastewater treatment agreement that Matt sent? Because we really should probably get that into place if everybody is good with it and vote on it tonight, because then if we need to take any more wastewater, I'm looking at that $72,000, that almost pays for the RPC just by that. So he said there's no intention to ditch anymore right now, but if we get rains again, and they don't have a place to put it, because I guess they're doing it in a pond or something. So we would hate to turn away money, but we can't take any more until the board approves this contract and gets this contract. So is everybody prepared to do that tonight? Did everybody have time to look at it? I asked Matt one question and he said it won't be done over at, there's a different site, so it won't be done on private property. Because that was my own concern, that that's something, some legal advice with that. So can we have a motion to allow the mayor to sign the wastewater treatment agreement plan as presented with E3 Environmental? One thing. Okay. Did it mention in there about damages? I can't. It would have been damages for the private property, I think. If any damage is done to manhole or any other part of the system, E3 will be responsible for repairs. That's it is H, 5H. Do you want the hard copy? It's kind of a mess. Somebody pulled out in front of me today and all my papers went. I had to slam on my brakes, so I don't know. No. So I was going like 20 miles per hour and here he came and I'm like, so that thing just kind of frustrated me. Yeah, that was no question. It does. But I don't. I think we're not going to do it. So that's my understanding. So I mean, I guess I'm just thinking because the access to any of our sewers is going to be probably on someone's property. I mean, we have to have access to it, so that's not our property, but we have to be on someone else's property to have access to our sewer rights. So that's.
I was going to ask you, said he had a couple of locations. I didn't get to ask him, I meant to. where are those locations? I know they were as far away from the sewer plant.
Right. Well, because in this case, I came on to do it, we were gonna fix it, but we're gonna take care of the damage, and I almost feel
I don't want to
like they should, yeah, they should be, I feel like they should really.
the trucks damaged one area.
That's nice.
So,
But I don't know if it's something that we could add in there.
if any damage is done to manhole, we could put comma property, comma, or any other part of the system. We could ask Matt to put in property, just right in 5A.
Across the yard.
For repairs. Okay. So we could agree to that with the addition of the property under the condition. You can't multi-kick that. You can't. I asked first. I did ask.
I knew I was a good
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm just trying to think, like, are we making a motion now with the property, like, contingent on the property being added to the agreement?
To buy them each. Yes.
So is that your motion? And I'll second it. I'm in.
Okay. Motion by Deb. Second by Jess. Is there any more discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Did we send them?
Yes. So the only other thing before we get started, before we leave tonight, everyone needs to decide on the next budget dates and time. So we didn't do that on Wednesday. So just let's not forget tonight, okay? Let Chief get going as soon as everybody's ready and everyone get their calendars out. You look much better.
Thank you.
You feel better.
Oh, yeah, 1,000% better. I genuinely don't know how I function.
I don't know how you did it. Then you took off like.
I needed to come home.
No, I said.
So Steve, I know you only have a couple sheets, but you can just tell everybody which one you're on. And then
Sure, where do you guys want to start? It doesn't matter to me, it's my first time, so walk me through
Oh,
it.
that's right.
Walk me through this.
We're listed.
All right, so 45, 45, 40?
45, 40.
All right. I had a different thought process to this, and I, as Jada can attest, I've gone over the numbers a whole bunch of times and made some changes. Probably caused her some sleep. So Jada, I apologize, but thank you for, and all the staff for helping me do this. The first thing we're going to talk about, the first highlighted item. So we're looking at 25 months on an ambulance, and you might be able to get one a little earlier. I know the one vendor that I'm talking with, that we purchased from before, he has some stock units that are on the line. You can grab a place in one of those stock units, and then it would become a dining unit. We might be able to get it within 12 to 13 months. So half it. So we're looking at least 25 months with him. Another manufacturer that I talked to, he was up to 24 to 36. So that's going to put it out in August. So That wasn't the plan. The plan was this year. Our plan, fire department, has been, this year was gonna be to replace this 2017 60. And
How many ambulances do we have?
yes,
And then we just rotate it every 2 years.
yes.
Does it change in manufacturers? The one that you're looking at, we were talking earlier, is
The earliest one would be no, not a change. It would be the last vendor that we went through. So I mean, as long as it, met our procurement policy, and, everything was good there. So I overestimated a little bit there with the 200 because I don't know what we're going to get into. He said to definitely estimate 180 to 190. And we do have, where did I write it down? Right now, we have 154,000, almost 154,000 in there, and there'll be another payment to that. So we'll have like what, 198 come June 1st is what you and I looked at the other day, Gina.
If you leave it at 45 years, you get 199.
Okay. So, but we're not going to have to cash that out this year. So how do we want to do that? Do we want to put the 10% down like we normally do?
Because normally we don't pay for it until it's delivered. We just
Right,
do the
10% down and then we wait. So I guess it doesn't really matter what manufacturer I go with, how you guys want to go with this. The 10% down and
So you still have 100. You still have 154 after buying the stuff from Murray.
correct.
Yep. I thought the sheet with me. I don't know why I thought plus that.
No, and that was why I was really glad when Jada was sitting down explaining to me on that. That's why that it seemed that we could take the 32 and still have plenty if things were gold and we would order one today, get one after June 1st.
So when
But
was
it's
the
not
last
good.
ambulance we bought then?
The last ambulance we bought was the 2024.
Right.
Yeah, it was the 24. I was just looking at all the VIN numbers yesterday. Jada needed it for something else.
So it's right in here. It's right on this budget sheet. It was 146.
what's this 17? What kind of mile?
224, 225 right now. It's got a lot. She's living a good life.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We just had it down for a little bit for some more names. And the Western New York roads and winters aren't helping either. So she's been a good truck.
Fast.
Yeah, and the mileages are racking up on the other ones. I think the 22 has got 115 on it right now. So it's cycling out. It's forecasted before.
Can I ask you a question only because I don't know?
Sure.
Like we have 4 ambulances. So what they just rotate which ones they take out times?
Yeah, it's all rotated through. We have the oldest one. No, we're just putting the miles on now. The other 3 newer ones, we rotate those through, so they're out for a month. And that 4th one allows us maintenance time. We had an ambulance down for almost a week this week trying to get some stuff.
I mean, is there ever a time about 4 out at the same time?
Yes, it was. I had to pull up Justin's stats from last year. What we're seeing is a lot of 2 ambulances out at a time and the 3rd ambulance out at a time. The 4th one kind of allows us to get all the other maintenance done. We were doing that with all the ambulances this week. They all got inspected. They all got rotated through. I had to go to Lockport for a couple hours this week. One of them, get a windshield taken care of. And then parts and all that stuff. If you get into a part issue, you have to nail a deer. You've got to wait 2 or 3 weeks. Makes it kind of difficult. So I guess I need some direction on where we're going to go with this because it's order it this budget year and maybe not receive it for 2 more. If we're stuck in that 25 months,
Can we lock them in on a delivery date? Like, I don't want to write a check that I can't pay if I don't budget for it. And I
But
don't
I
know.
mean, if we put down, you'd have the price first before we agreed to anything.
Sure, but
You know
like,
what I
I don't
mean?
want a budget to pay off the amount of the
Mhm.
ambulance that would be required in this budget year if I don't have to. I
Right.
don't wanna raise taxes early.
Right.
And I also don't know that I want to. Like, I guess I would just wanna know, could we get them to commit to a delivery date? If they're projecting 3 years out, could we get them to?
Yeah, I could talk to
commit a
both
delivery date?
and say, hey, give me, what's the down to 30 on the date? And what's the soonest you could get me one if I was to order?
And would
And
they
then,
commit to that date? If they had a truck come sooner, but and we have a contract signed,
Right.
could they require us to start paying sooner, or could we hold them to the delivery date?
Okay.
Do you have concerns with that idea, though? Because you're hoping to take it sooner?
But you said that someone could get it in 12 to 13 months.
yeah, the original, the vendor that we worked with on the last, probably the last 16 months now, with the 4 that we have, they said 15 months. That was February.
Who is that?
Oh, man, stroke.
Is it Parsons? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
No, it's fine.
I just want to have it in there.
Are they the same chassis or different, like built Chevy to that?
It'd be the same ones that you got the last. And that's the price he had told me, ballpark it for 180, 190. It's Gorman.
It is Gore.
It's Gorman through.
Gorman.
Are those Fords or?
Yeah, that model there, those three or four, it's actually all 4 but I'm not counting the old ones, so.
Big 450s or 550s or 450s?
And they've been good trucks, that model that we started with, it also standardizes everything. So that way when you go ambulance to ambulance, they're all the same.
Everybody
In the
complains
back.
about the ride.
What's that?
They ride hard because they're so heavy.
No, I don't think so. The one that we're getting rid of, but we had to make some modifications to it to make it fit.
Okay.
So some of the springs were taken out. So it's banging on the rail in the back. That one rides, that's more of a tank ride.
Everybody talks about
That one rides with a tank, in the back. Up front it rides great. You know, you and I can ride down the road, it's fine. It's the folks in the back there, bang on the back. But we alleviated that problem with the next month. They ride a lot smoother in the back.
What about the newer styles for your transports? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, fitting would probably be an issue on the city hall side. Their height.
Even those like van things? The vans
Yeah,
are
the
taller.
transits or
Yes.
the Mercedes.
narrower.
Transits, there's the Mercedes. EMI was one of those. The problem too is the 14-inch tires. I think they've got the 14-inch tires on the Mercedes. They were having stations. Some of the folks I talked to. What's that? Just had an issue with the winter. Little wheels. Yeah,
those are a lot narrower too.
yeah, but very narrow.
How do you push your equipment?
It's mush everywhere. When you look at them, when they open them up, it's all on the sides. So you've got this here, and it's more of a helicopter. Oh, you know what I mean? So,
Contractors have narrow, shelving on
yeah.
the side of it is.
And you've got the bench seat on the one side, stretchers on the other. It doesn't use a lot of room for anything. So some of these calls we're doing a lot of work between here and 50 miles. So it's not conducive to that. Standardization is, the one we're getting rid of is the last unstandardized one for the back. So each box is standardized. So when you go from truck to truck, different employees work with different trucks. The stuff's all in the same spot as it was yesterday. You know, yeah, and seconds count. So if you're fumbling around looking for stuff, because you're in a different truck, it's got different cabinets set up, so.
I like to have you last longer. More durable.
You're talking a $50,000 increase in the price of the ambulance from 2 years ago, so.
Yeah.
65. Oh, because we put 10%, so that 146 is actually closer to
Yeah,
like 165,
Yeah.
168.
so he said to look at 180 to 190, so.
So it's just under 20,000 to put a down payment now, right? 20,000.
Oh, it would be, I mean, if you lock me in at the 180 or 190, you know, we drop and we put the 10% down,
Yeah.
so 18 to
Rounded it
19.
up to 200.
Yes.
2 years ago. How much was that?
165.
So really the decision is going to be, can he go ahead and order it, right? And put the 10% down, and then is the board going to put, it would just be the 45,000, right? That we normally put in every year for the ambulance, Jada?
Right, you'd have to consider if you want to leave it at 45 or if you want to up it. We've been putting in 45 for the last couple of years into 1500.4.
Okay, so is there any reason that you would think that it needs to be up?
I think the board should maybe discuss that. I mean, we're seeing the cost increase, so if we're, I mean,
Yeah, I think
we're gonna be
about,
on the rotation. I don't know what that looks like, but, you know,
So probably how much would be put in?
we'd have to see. Let me talk and see if I can order one today, you know, hypothetically, and what they give me as a price. And then we can offset that between the price of the last one. So, okay, we need to up our equipment by this much. You know, so if there was let's say there's a 10% increase on it, just using numbers, then we would need to increase that deposit at least by that, right? I mean, or not the deposit, sorry. Put it.
because that's gonna pretty much wipe out your equipment, you know, because it's the 45,000
Right.
for next fiscal year.
So then 2 years I would have, so if we do 50, let's say we increase it to 50, so I would have 100,000 by the time we're ready to buy another ambulance, 2 years.
And we're using the 45 in 26, 27. So in 27, 28, you're only gonna have 45.
Or if it's 50.
That's just something to think about.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy coming down. Did
So are you in point force? Because I noticed we need to change that.
I typoed it, I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Billing
So-
service?
So that's.
So unfortunately, well, the two things I typoed, Jada caught one for me, I feel good. Was the gas and oil I had typoed, we fixed that, so that is gonna be 80 and not 8,000 for the billing service.
I like that.
So I do too, but I don't think when you.
Let's see, change your bottom line, 185, 250.
What was it,
195, 250.
1950?
250.
On the point fours, yeah.
$72,000.
Plus that, well, yeah, there's that.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yep. So,
So I see that we have, asking for this year, the 8,000 for the defibrillator, defib maintenance. I thought that we bought a long-term policy last year.
it's every year. And then
I thought we bought a 3-year one.
that's annual payments, right?
Yes, we discussed that, and I think we looked into that.
Yeah.
So I thought we put the upfront money in last year, and that's why we went up to that. I know on the two of them, we discussed, the multi-year one that we purchased last year. Either it was stretcher maintenance or the defib. That's why we went up to the whole thing. I
It
thought,
was sold, because it was.
It was sold for the stretcher. Yeah.
So we took that first payment out of the electronics fund last year.
okay,
And then I added the 200 to it, or almost 200. For the, what's not included are the standalone defibs. They're different. They're just like the basic first aid ones that we have on the fire trucks. So they're the automatic ones. That's for they came to Ridgeway this year, did all the PMs on that, check the battery, check the voltage, all that stuff. So they're pretty cheap.
And stretcher maintenance went up. No, not stretcher.
First aid supplies.
First aid supplies, yep.
Yep.
Does Jake still do your ordering for that now?
Fisher has taken over that. Doing a good job at it. He's asked a bunch of questions. Seems to be pretty well organized on it.
Who does it if he's unavailable?
Jake can still get on and have access to it, but Adams, there's nothing emergency related to that usually. If there's something we need, Adam can get it pretty quickly. He's continued what I had started with Mount St. Mary's with getting cheaper generic drugs through the pharmacy. So we've kind of expanded that to the non-controlled. So it's much, much cheaper than Country. So we are saving some money.
Right.
those are all billable.
Yeah, that's all part. Yeah, it's all part of our practice. It's all stuff that we're required to have with the state and the local event. Structure maintenance. So stay alive. I'm almost.
Yeah, so next week.
That worked out well. They came work on structures. And he had 2 fixes. And I told him, I said, this one's gonna be the worst one now, so old and so you're gonna have some issues. Ended up being a hydraulic hose, bang, in and out. So took care of it right there. That was that PM group that we had started. I think Tim found that. So that worked out well.
So that's a payment back to them this year as well. I thought for some reason
We bumped it up because of the age on the structures and that.
okay. Yeah, because for some reason, so it's really stretcher and maintenance. I thought we bought a multi-year maintenance. Is what we ended up. I could be wrong. I thought we bought a multi-year, 3-year.
Yeah, my notes don't say that, so I'm not sure.
They just, for some reason, it's stuck. Would be the one thing. Would be the first time. It was on top. Yeah, we bought a contract. I think it was a 3-year. So,
They're whispering to raise your voice.
I can't talk anymore. Try it. Oh,
I mean, do you think that would be good payment? Is that what your question?
yeah, I thought that we made a multi-year.
Is that, it might very well be in that might be your payment
Oh, now with 5,
with that, which one was it? Was it
the
the
stretcher.
defib or
I thought it was it was one of them. I knew last year that we decided, I thought that we decided to put the extra money in it for, long-term plan.
I found an email from Matt Jackson,
That's what I was
because
just.
I asked you if that was just one time payment, and he said it's an annual charge, May of each year through 2028.
Okay.
For the structure.
That's what it
Was
is.
it
That was from,
Matt Jackson.
sorry, I was busy searching, so that was for what?
For the Zoll charge he was asking
For the
Okay,
structure maintenance.
yep, so it's not structure maintenance. The Zoll doesn't do structures.
Okay, so,
Zoll's defib.
Yeah,
And
right,
that was 8,000 a year. I'm pretty sure.
yeah.
It was 24 over 3 years, that's what I'm thinking in my head.
but are we okay,
Is that what, that's what the email says for Zoll? Well, I didn't specify, it just said, that we had budgeted that 7,800, and I said, was that at one time? And he said, no, it's an annual through 2028.
so my question is stretcher maintenance, is that, annual also, or maybe that's what you're thinking? That's
That's just there was a PM contract, and, okay. So. Cause I had Joe looking into it at first. And then I don't think I've gotten an invoice.
I remember a maintenance agreement. I thought that.
Yeah, we had a maintenance
Yeah.
agreement with him, and he sent me the stuff.
And is that right, Vince Striker? Was that third party?
It was, you were standing there talking with that one day, yeah, Striker shirt,
Yeah.
in a conversation.
Yeah.
So it's a third party company, and he comes up and does it, it travels, yeah, takes care of it.
So we can look at that
Yeah.
and double check it another time, you don't have to,
Okay, all right, sorry,
just put a note,
I'm just going to Lauren's sheet. Let's see.
Because he's got a
it's freezing, I'm like freezing.
Yeah.
It looks like you need a campfire.
Or we need coffee or something more.
Okay, what you looking at next? Sorry.
Okay, so anything else from your point 4?
That's all on the back column. Everybody else's went down, so they.
Which one, Debbie?
Telephone back. Everybody else's went down.
Sure.
Because we ended up.
And
with
I-
phones and stuff like
Right, because I think things have recently changed there, right?
Mhm.
that. Right, so.
But like to the less expensive, I thought.
Right, I know, I'm just asking, because I know there's changes.
Back one. You got what?
How many phones do you have?
You get 5 or 6.
5. And that's a big decrease, because we just switched to integrated for that, right?
So 6 phones.
Because we're not picking up Verizon.
So yeah, I would say, to be safe, it'd be like 2,200
Okay,
for both.
okay,
So maybe we were a little under. Or, we were only budgeted 1,000 next year.
I highlighted the ECC paramedic program. I'd probably get rid of the ECC on there and just have it as paramedic program. But I didn't put an 50% there. Erie County started a new one. It's in Amherst. It's a little closer to us. Seems to be good. Good students coming out of that. City of Lockport's sending their guys there, folks there. And then there's the program. No, because I want to try to add one this fiscal year, see if canvas the membership, see who wants to go.
Do you have anybody you anticipate would attend?
I have one or two that I feel would step up.
And then how do each of your, like considering tenure and all that, how do each of your platoons look now? You have ALS on each.
We have 2 per platoon right now.
Okay.
And that's like comfortable minimum,
Mhm.
you know, uncomfortable minimum, yes. But right now there's one working. You know, there's 2 there when I was there today, but right now there's one on.
Yeah.
So like 2 back. That's usually the norm. 2 per shift.
Okay.
No, I mean, there's a lot of factors in it. It's a long year. So, I mean, you know, sit down and have personal conversations with the candidate and see how things look and what other things, you know, if you were going to focus on other things to be done, what other things on your plate at work and at home. So there's a lot to do. It's a big thing.
So how are you doing on your budget this year in the 4540? Because it looks like you got, only got like 50,000 for.
Yeah, it's.
What do you got, 3 months left to go? April, May, 2 months. Is this?
So-
February, or this is like through the end of it?
I have 35 left.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've got.
that's great.
Yeah,
35, 629.
yeah, I don't
So. That actually 350. Plus through the end.
Yeah.
March, April, you got 3 months.
We needed to.
35.
Yeah.
You want to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I talked to Adam about it already, but then I just had to purchase $800 worth of equipment this week. Last week, it's coming in Monday. There's new regulations for DOH that we need to abide by April. In their equipment regulations, they've been talking 20 years about changing stuff, and they finally went through it. It's this long, laborious process. And each ambulance has to have carbon monoxide metering specifically 24/7 on all the time. So that way, when they take their equipment into the house, it's attached to the equipment, it's attached to our equipment, our BLS bag, our life-saving equipment bag. So I think we're going to be a little tight, but keep my eye on it. And then the 0.41s, that process is all done, and finished out.
What about our point? Where do we move this?
The 90-10 split.
Oh, so we switched the word, so we did the 90-10. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
My next question is like,
so originally, or this year, the fire vehicle split between 16, 20, 34, 10, 45, 40, plus 3 pounds. And that your total is probably in 34, 10.1, and then they take it off of that and put it in the 45, 40, 16, 20.
but get all three of the others to see.
It's, yeah, all three of them. Well, we're not doing 1628. No, but
Right, now it's
right
90-10. So,
Right.
so,
So now it's
Kurt,
90.
so this is the 90.
Yes.
Probably, right, from the 90, the ambulance,
Yep.
10 in the fire, which is 34, 10, that's the number.
For payroll.
So it'd be hard to compare.
Yeah.
Well,
All the employees are stuff.
Well, I saw this down here, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And we can adjust that as it
So
goes.
where's the overtime?
That'll be in the page. That's where you get to breakdown
Yep,
of everything.
that'll be in the 34-10.
So what was your new total?
Well, you're gonna decide about the payments, if you want that reduced to 10%, but I have the facts, bumping that up to 80,000, 1905258.
Thank you.
0528.
1905258.
It's just.
But we can drop that by 10%. So is that what we want to figure then for point 2? Drop that down to 20 for right now?
Better than 200.
What's that?
It looks better than 200.
The thing of it is, you fiscal year anyway.
No,
It's going
it
to
could be 2
following.
fiscal.
So it's gonna be at least next fiscal year, if not the following.
Right.
So why would you even put the 200 in? Just put the 20,000.
Should we-
I should have just highlighted it and just left it blank and we talked about it, but, you know.
Should we put some in for a reserve perhaps, like start building towards that?
Right.
I
and that
think we
was
need to do that, that's in a different line,
But it,
different thing.
depending on, I don't know the terms of like when you order it. I think when Matt has done it in the past, when we sign,
Mhm.
you know,
Yep.
the accepting order, whatever, that's the 10% back.
correct. So
Is
if
that-
I signed, say I signed it in June.
So you would want to be
We,
10%.
yeah, we leave, that's why I was saying, leave 20,000 in there. I think that's more than enough for that line item. And that gives us, you know, I'll get some phone calls going and follow the procurement policy and,
More realistic,
what's that?
more realistic.
Yes, but,
Take out 100, right?
correct.
And then Jada, the money for the future ambulance goes into what account?
It's in the 884.
884. So we just have to remember the board has to decide on that. The other four.
Oh, no, the
45,000.
45,000,
Yes.
that page in there is 1,500.4.
All right, so. Debbie, check that, man. 1725258. Pardon?
That's what I got.
Okay, sorry, I'm still also.
You're plugged up.
What did you have?
172.
Okay.
Not using the
It's a question.
No, I'm good, I got
So then does the board want to put the money in the 1,500.4 under equipment reserves, under the general fund for whatever it is? Well, that would be a question mark because you're gonna get updated prices. You used to put 45,000 in, but it might be more than that.
Yep.
So I would say that if the board wants to do that, we should probably put a question mark under the 1,500, right?
Yeah, and we're gonna want to know what the towns are gonna contribute, because that'll help us know what we're gonna.
And I got some stuff that I can discuss, contract wise,
Now, I know the power stretcher is 36,000, so how are we capturing for like the movie?
well, I'm gonna have, there'll be 2 quotes for the manufacturer. And there'll be the dream quote that's got the power load system and new stretcher, and then one without, and see where we're at.
But that's not in the board.
No. I'll have firmer numbers once I talk to the two.
Well, yeah, our equipment reserve, really, for yeah.
Okay, is there anything else with the 4540? Is everyone good with that? Okay. Did you turn the heat up? I'm getting warm. Oh, I can feel it. You didn't turn the heat on.
We're gonna have to close $810.
$34.10.
So if we went 90-10, how do we have 1.4?
How are we at what? Sorry, I was just catching up on the notes. All right, so 3410. You're looking at what?
The payroll is, so we got 1.1 there.
Yep.
We're doing the 90.
Right. You see it minused out towards the bottom.
Oh, I didn't get down. Thank you. Steve.
You're welcome. That was new to me too.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it took me,
Gotcha.
it took me a little bit to contemplate that. Like, why are we doing this here? So, but if you're not,
For
that's
done-
why I wanted to go with 45,
for
40
done-
first.
yeah. I kind of like it because it lets me see what the total was.
Sure.
Like for somebody who can't do quick math in my head, I kind of
Right.
like having it like that.
It does. Because you see the price differentials, you know.
So this is with 16 employees plus yourself, correct?
Yes, and assuming that there's gonna be
I do like having the payroll out of buildings this year. That never made sense to me, and I'm glad. I don't know if it was
Thank God.
Jada, Steve, or Jason, but I do
Which one? What are you talking about?
fire payroll was in buildings for the longest, and it made me nuts because it was one sheet that went to 2 department heads, and it never made sense on paper to me. Initially, for like for 5 years. So I'm glad it's here.
So,
So Steve, if there's going to be someone retiring, we'll have to have a new hire training expense there, correct?
Well, that'll bring us to 16.
That'll bring us to 16 plus chief.
Oh, because we had that one.
Right, so we've got, right now on that line, yes.
I
it's-
forgot.
It's on the first platoon line, and there's 2 in that officer spot, so that's a long-term.
Got it. I forgot about that.
So,
Share that, because I think everybody wants to do that.
what's that?
So what's the difference, like your total payroll from last year to this year, is what I'm trying to figure out. That's what everybody wants to know.
So, yeah, because we went up 500 and went down 60. We want to
So
lose
we're all confused.
we went up 500.
So it's 2001, so it's 62,568. So what was last year's? Jada and I think, when it comes to numbers, do backwards. Last year was 1,617,218. Wait, say it again. 1,617,218. Okay. And then we have 1,681,786. Okay. But you said you have the retired two groups, that's all that.
Yep, the buyout,
Files for leaving. Sick bank. For the retiree. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
For
I-
one retiree.
Yep, I went through with, let's see, I'm gonna try and name off all the girls that I went through. Each one had different figures. So Miranda got something to me, Jada got something to me. And then went through the 3 years, figured out how much per year, and then the normal stuff on the first year, plus all that.
What's the dollar?
What's that?
What was the dollar? Do you remember? Close.
It's on my desktop.
So what was the difference, Gina?
62,560.
That number is what? The difference from last year. Did we ever get rumors? Yeah. I think that's-
I emailed them yesterday or today. Where we are with that?
I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I was asking.
I think Wednesday or yesterday, asking where we are with the workers' comp reimbursement.
It has to be finished out before you're completely reimbursed, correct? Or are you getting partials?
No, we get a renewal.
Yeah, I send quarterly invoices or quarterly like reimbursement.
Yeah, because we pay, right?
I'll check my notes from the last quality and insurance meeting that I went to last month, and I think, I'm pretty sure they said that they were reimbursing quarterly, and they were on that. But when was the last time you got a payment? You haven't gotten any? Okay, I will call on Monday
This is familiar.
if you want me to. Yeah,
And a correction, the difference is 66,568 times 2,000.
Would you say it was 66?
568.
So we still have 2 firefighters who have to go to the academy.
Correct.
Did you figure that in here for this budget?
Yes, sir.
Where is it?
It's in the overtime.
Oh, okay. But not the academy fee though, I'm thinking of the academy fees.
No, that was a training.
Mhm.
Oh, is it?
So this figure here.
No.
Oh, there it is. It's under trade, no, it's trade.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a training program,
I understand, but well,
sounds like a big.
Is that
$1,000. Is that it?
Oh, there it is.
No, it was under the new hire training, sorry. And I don't have anything in that one. The training program is a training program, but I think there'd be enough there in the training program.
What is $1,000? So you want to add?
that I don't understand.
I would think 5. With that, I think we'd be fine.
5 to the new hire training.
Yeah.
And then uniforms,
We should be good there with the new hire uniforms.
must already had it.
Yes. So that would just fall under the normal stuff.
Yeah, at the rate that we're going.
So this is.
You don't need anything in integrated hours.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's what you were talking about the other day, right? Jim? We're good there with the hours.
Just a computer in general, or what's wrong with it? Are you connected to? Yeah, that's what I do too. There's nothing here that you can do good enough signal to do anything.
No. I thought I had to throw that.
I mean, the center does have Wi-Fi. I just can't connect to it.
Oh,
But-
I knew what it was telling me. Scott, what was your question regarding?
Oh, yeah.
No, this was a question like 5 minutes ago, sorry. Regarding the BIOS.
Oh, yeah, what that number is.
So an annual payment over 3 years for the 6 months? 10,200.
Annually for 3 years.
Yes.
30,600.
Yeah, that was the 50% split. Yeah, that was the 50% split and 5 and 3. me just double check.
This is a little unrelated to Steve, but while he's looking,
Sure.
is part of this budget discussion you think gonna be the grant writer? Whether or not to go on with his services, continue to seek a grant writer,
Something we should discuss it, yeah, sure. Because 10,000 is put in his budget. That's it.
oh, yeah, that's where I saw it. Well, just in general, I know it's not really a Steve question, but I figured while he's looking, I just wanted to know if that was, I would really like to discuss that for this session.
We
I just wanted
can,
to see if that was our response.
we can have firefighter visits for. Does with that? Found a solution there, sure.
How does that work? Like, do you have a different provider?
Yes, and it's well.
Great.
Excellent.
Great.
So we can have them come here, and then we have to hire, say we hire 2 new firefighters in November, we can just send them there.
Okay.
Physical site as well.
But they'll come once a year for you guys for the, I can't
Yes, we
remember what it's
just did it,
called.
we just did it now, and, it's much better than the other solution that we're using this summer, with those new hires. And there were some functional issues as well.
Okay,
Once they got there, they could only do half the visit, and then that person would have to go to another patient. So, caused me to lose even more hair. So,
Oh, stop.
pull my mustache. So anyway, solution found.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. That's what we want.
Oh, I'm staring, I didn't. Thanks, Con. Great point.
I love you. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
That's my baby.
I didn't know that. We were
Well, I
doing
looked
this.
at him when he came in, and I didn't. recognize him.
Computer software is unknown right now. So the county switched over. I've been talking to every board meeting about it. To do first due with the dearest stuff that we're using. There's additional components that I would like to get through first due that would streamline things. We've had a bad habit of hopping on and buying different programs over the past 16 years and only using like 1% of that program for a very specific thing. But it's built out to do like 25 different things. So we've got all these different logins, you know, and I would be able to get rid of our scheduling program. I'd be able to get rid of, you know, that's what, $800 I can save there. They hadn't gotten back to me with the price quote, and also asset tracking. And that would also include inventories of the ambulances that were required right now, or if we went back to paper inspections. So it's just, it's not very efficient. But with the computerized inventories, once that's built out, it'd be smooth. Disappointed that the manufacturer hasn't gotten back, the salesman hasn't gotten back to me yet. I talked to him, we had a half-hour conversation over a month ago. He was going to send me quotes, and I still don't have it. So I don't know if he's even working for the company at this point, but we're going to hold first due. So that's why I padded that up a little bit. But the county is taking over the initial costs, first due accounts. So that's what we need to do. We can just buy the add-on modules. So probably be a net. It'll probably be a push one, so I would stop by the scheduling software and we would just add a schedule component at minimum, but if I have enough funds in that line item to the asset.
Is there a limit? Is it EMS specific?
No, it's fire EMS, it's.
But I guess I meant like, is it anything that we might benefit from using village-wide? Like maybe something that might eliminate a service in a different department that they may be using?
Scheduling, probably, I mean, it would incorporate a multitude of different schedules.
Okay, and then what about the asset list?
Possibly. Inspection type stuff, sure. Like codes, if they were doing like inspections, he could have that. If there could be a subset for Dan, I could create a user login for him, and then it would be specific to that. It's codes. It's fire investigation. Like there are just modules upon modules. It can be as big or as small as you want it.
Yeah, I think scheduling probably would only cover you and Christian, but asset covers everybody. So if that was something that, I don't even know if that's something that you think would be beneficial. I know you're using spreadsheets now to kind of try to hold all that info. No doubt. No doubt. If you're paying for a service that could possibly benefit more. Be interested.
I picked on her about her spreadsheets pretty bad.
Listen, I got like 8.
She was laughing.
Love a
She was
spreadsheet.
laughing. She's a good sport. I mean, it would send it if the guys found a couple mechanical problems, say the tires were down, we had a couple headlights that were out. It would send a work order to the mechanic, and then when he fixes it, it would send a work order to the chief, say, "Hey, it's complete, it's back in service, it's ready to go." I mean, like I said, if we want to use it for that stuff, it's just.
Do you know offhand if it would track, like materials used?
The reporting features on this are endless.
Okay.
And you can build your.
Okay.
So, like for my call spreadsheet, like for the call responses right now, if I want to look at something specific, I've already had to add specific. And I can track it via the app.
Can you shoot me a link to just look at that program and kind of see what's?
Because we were talking about this last year for our mechanic, for each department.
Yeah, I think it was Mark said, yeah.
Yeah. And if this would.
It would be
cover-
so cool because, it would go to Dan, it would save us a phone call or a text message over there, "Hey, when can you get this?" And then bing, it's done. The supervisor that's in charge of it, it would all go back, it's just.
Talk to Dan about
Mhm,
We
I remember that.
don't, no,
Well, I don't
He
think,
was new. I mean, he was getting started. Yeah, he was kind of.
I don't know that I think we would need to like abandon iWorks and take on this new thing. But I'm thinking like if it would send a message to Dan, it's what he's already getting now, just via text instead of via or email or whatever. He would just be receiving it from an entity instead of from an individual.
As long as he was out.
like I said, anything.
I thought it was a good idea. I can't remember the conversation. If something. We wanted something that's not technically.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm misunderstood, though, Dan's just taking it.
Too. Because they didn't put his inventory out. Like,
Well,
really thinking it's that.
And that's what we were talking about too, and when we're going through and doing our inspections, or when the state comes in. You were here last time to do my inspection on May 1st, we'll go May 1st, 2025, May 1st, 2026. Here's all our inspections. Look, this is what happens, and stuff missing.
I think just the parts of inventory they have, like allowance and that. As he started document what he has.
You're talking about Dan.
Yeah.
I was thinking when he was talking about sending a code over to Dan, and I'm going, if he's gonna receive a message, but no, you're talking mechanic Dan. Yeah, no, I think that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Like I said,
Talking, yeah.
it's as,
Yeah.
it's as small or as big as we want to build this out. And we're gonna get specific with the med modules because we're carrying a lot of different things. We carry a bunch of different controls. And, it'll allow Adam to look and say, "Oh my God, we must have had a run on these types of calls. Like, ran a couple codes, we're down to 20 EPIs. And, it's time sensitive stuff. Pharmacy's got a great turnaround. The sooner he knows about it, the sooner you can order. And then the narcotics, it's just,
Yeah, and anytime you roll out a new program, you're gonna get a lot of resistance. Every time my computer says it doesn't update, my heart breaks a little bit. I gotta learn something new. But I think for a municipality that's being tasked with keeping track of everything, having a tool that that we're already gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
If multiple departments can make use of it, fantastic.
and the word in the chief circles when I was at career chiefs the other day was very good when I was here back. A friend of mine is also using that in his city. And there were some more emails about it today, different modules that we don't have that we might not have to use for, but it's all coming back pretty quickly. So you should have that link.
I have it, thank you.
Quick, real easy YouTube videos to watch. Nothing crazy.
Okay, are there any other questions for 3410?
I do have a question.
Fire away.
Last year, the budget was $140,000 in overtime,
Yep.
and now we're at what is it, 310, 320?
Yep. And that's why I figured 3 on that line.
Okay, so but 300,000 is for, as Scott explained to me, is because you have to pay somebody while somebody's out training, is that correct? So is that already above, this is already above and beyond, because you're training too many people, so that's why they incur overtime.
Not right now, no. They did early on. They didn't count as manpower, so they had to go through the orientation process. We've got one off at the academy right now, so that creates an absence.
So in the overtime this year, was that created because of somebody was training, or was that just?
That was just open shifts. And some of it is the training when we brought them up. That first month that they're here, they're not counting as manpower. They're not cleared to drive the ambulance. They're not, we crawl before we walk, before we run. So I bring you on today. And we just don't give you the keys to the city.
I understand.
Right.
And
So,
Steve's to understand the open shift.
But I don't, yeah.
And before
I'm
we-
asking because I don't know.
right, yeah, absolutely. And that's,
I'm so sorry, but before we even get to that next step, I appreciate what you're saying. I have to push back on they don't count. Contractually, I just can't agree that they don't count as a fourth person. When we negotiated that, it was specifically discussed that they are a person on a shift.
not on day one, when we hired them.
But that's not what the contract says.
But I can't, the DOH just doesn't let me, you come in with an EMT card, I just can't cut you loose and let you go treat patients.
Okay, I do have to see that. Not because I don't believe you,
Sure.
but because I feel like if during negotiation, that had been something that the negotiators were aware of, I believe they would have brought it. So they didn't bring it to us when we had that discussion.
Okay.
I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody, but we went back
Like-
and forth on this item because we specifically we reworded it. They made a proposal and we reworded that proposal specifically to say they don't have to be complete through their training, which I understand now they're not complete through their training and they're still already counting.
Yeah, this is on the regulated end of the EMS side, this isn't on the fire side.
And I think this is
That's-
what I need to see.
right.
Is what is it that makes it so, like, at what point do they become, and I know you got more questions, I'm sorry for cutting you.
No,
off.
no,
I
no,
needed to
you're-
get
no,
stuff
no,
on
it's
this one.
Sure. I still have quite more questions.
Yeah, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, I
No,
just
no,
didn't want
that's
us to
fine.
get too far from that point when it's come up a few times and every time I just wanna make sure,
Yeah, I'm just
try to flush it out.
grab it from the- Okay,
And you don't have to give it to me right now either.
nope, that's going in my drafts, my
Okay,
notes.
okay.
So to further my question though,
Sure,
was if we were budgeting 140 last year and we're already at 300, so this year we're budgeting 300, are we gonna be at 450? Overtime, I mean, in my business world, if I had overtime, I had to explain exactly why I had it.
Yep.
If you're training somebody, I can understand that. But to go from 150 to 350, Now we're gonna say 300, if we keep the same trend, it's gonna be 450, $150,000 more. How do we account for that one?
So this year was a lot because there was holes. We didn't have the new hires to fill. No, we brought more on so that there was a training in that. And I think we had a couple leave that we didn't expect to. So that put us behind the eight. So there was, I think this year, current budget year is gonna be more than next year.
So, as a board, as a new board member, I think that, at least me personally, maybe I'm overstepping my boundaries, that if that overtime number is gonna be exceeded, we need to have an answer sooner than later, you know, what's going on,
Right.
and we expect that.
I can't forecast if we're gonna have guys leave.
Nobody, and I understand, nobody can, but.
So
yeah, you still
how I
have to-
figured the overtime was, everybody used, I took a certain amount of vacation weeks. And said, okay, here's what they're gonna use on vacation. Some are gonna use 2, some are gonna use 3. I figured in 5 weeks sick time, I figured 2 guys at the training academy for 15 weeks. So there's 30 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? I added all that up and I had the hours.
Okay, no, I mean, if the numbers that you come add up with everything
Right,
that you
and
do,
that's-
I have no problem with that.
Right.
But my problem is if you get, all of a sudden we get halfway through the year and we're already starting to creep over that budget.
Right.
What are we gonna do to keep that, because we just can't keep having $200,000 worth of budget or perhaps the fire department.
I agree.
Okay,
And I think
I
the 140, just can't really look at that because that was just so far wrong, it's just a terrible guess. But if you look at what you're saying, if I understand correctly, is even if you're not comparing it to the budget, if you're just comparing our real figure this year to the budgeted figure of next year, it looks like if we're gonna be shorter than this year, we would wanna know why, because right now it looks like, I don't remember how many people specifically we had off for what duration, but maybe the way you did the math, assuming we have more headcount at all times,
Yep.
because we did dip, I think did we get down to 13 or 12 at one point?
No,
What did we get down to? I don't remember.
you got down to 16. Because I did an analysis of every single payroll. We went from 19 to 17 to 16, 17 to 16 to 18,
Is that 16?
18, 17 on the payroll.
But is that included?
And then and then for the
Right.
last.
That
since
didn't mean on
October, we've
shift.
been at 16.
Did that 16?
We paid for that many, yes, we paid for that many.
Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if we had 16, does that include the chief or
I don't. Yeah, that's too far.
And does that include a person getting paid who is not working?
Well, if they got paid, yeah, so I had, the number of hours, sick, vacation, personal, and then how many hours of time. So most of them did get, regular hours.
Higgins used a lot of vacation.
Right.
Yeah, and then all the other ones too, pretty much
And we're at
used
3.
up their PLs and their vacations.
But I'm thinking, who was on the payroll who was really not working? So we had Higgins was on the payroll, and then we had Dunn was on the payroll, and was there somebody else who was off for an extended period of time? Oh, and yeah, and then chief.
Yeah, but he wasn't counted towards those numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
had Petrie and Schrader were out in June, Jackson was out in July. Bates and Ryder were out in August, Higgins was out in August.
Petrie was.
Mhm.
Yes,
Oh, that was the first one she said, okay, sorry.
that count thing.
they left,
Oh, well, okay.
they left.
Well, we do have one who's been on comp, and I think.
This is right over.
May 1st.
So,
Oh, it was, it's a plus.
I was gonna say they would get.
Sorry, that's a plus.
Right, because we had 4 hires in August, so we were down full. So it went from, and then Higgins left in August, so we're down Higgins, Chief, Tiffany, and her, Dawson, Schrader. So,
So you're done like 12 people then? Interesting. And then, because I don't know the numbers. I don't know the names yet.
right, I'm trying to figure out who dropped when, because I'm looking at the new hires here, Bates, Ryder Work, Flecky, Galoya, all came on in August. Right,
And that's because Higgins was out. Petrie and Schrader were out, and you had the comp. You had the workers comp
and then, well, for her, it was
at the end of the month, yeah, I had them out in September.
So we had
Right.
45 now.
right, because her was hurt. and then
Later.
he went out.
That's the one I was
Right.
trying to think of. I knew
Right.
there was someone else who was off, was getting paid, but they were off. Weren't
Yeah,
working.
I should have grabbed, I should have grabbed.
So right now we're at 333
Mm-hmm.
as of, it looks like the end of March, and it's projected to be at 445.
Mhm.
If we keep going the way you're going, we're gonna be 103 over your budget. So that's what we need to address that,
Mhm.
like sooner than later, how we're gonna fix that. Because 103 over is not gonna, that's, I don't know what, we need to have
How-
some discussion.
So how does the general payroll compare as to where we are now and where we're going to go? These are people. Yeah,
Yes, sir, understand.
so it's gonna be, we're projecting.
Yep.
How is the fire payroll base compared? Where are we at the base
Yes.
pay? Are we
Compared
down
to what?
compared to what we project?
Yeah, we're down.
Well, sure, but I'm just,
For the
we're
next year.
16, 17.
Yeah, but she's worried about, she's talking about the OT for the rest of the next few months. But we can talk about that. I'm just, at a different
I know,
time.
I wanna-
Okay, so even if it was
Because
18,
Well, that's one thing, I'm wondering if these numbers might not match.
is
My
the
opinion is
payroll
we never
base
get number
lower right now, than what we anticipated?
I don't know.
I-
To be honest,
yeah.
I just like, think
See what I'm saying?
Because the rates are lower, yeah. I see,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Harvey, what's your question?
So because we had a huge turnover in personnel last year, we had payroll base projected. And then we had a turnover, so I'm asking if the payroll base is lower than what we projected because our overtime is so much higher. I wanna see if it's balanced,
Well, and if you got some higher paid fire and non-service new ones in that.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
That's what I
And I understand,
Right.
but I guess and I have a lot of questions, and we won't do it tonight, we'll get together
Sure.
after this year.
Yeah, and that's what I
Because
told him.
there's questions that, you know, you go into all this stuff here. I guess my thought is that as we need to keep a closer look at it, so that as we go through the year, we can,
Yes.
you can make suggestions, we can make suggestions or whatever. needs to be done. So,
So the overtime track that I take care of every week. And we are at 2023 overtime hours for injured. And
Can you repeat that again?
2023 hours
Okay.
year to date for sick and injured. So those create holes that need to get filled. So sometimes it's 48 hours a week. Most weeks it's 48 hours a week for the long-term injury. There's been, and then it's sickness that runs through. 2 people, out sick, and then it's 96 hours a week, 72 hours a week. So The other is the posted overtime shifts, and that's to cover vacations, PLs. The sick is the sick, but I don't like just call in those to the sick. Training started with Mackenzie being at the academy, so that's 48 every week. The rest is pretty nil on it. The call in is 179 hours, almost 180 hours for the year. And that's not
What's it called?
call in, you're called in callers. We got, there's 4 people on, 2 ambulances out. And they're going to Buffalo. One's going to Buffalo, one's going to Rochester. One's going to Batavia once. We call in one person. So that's 2 hours of overtime now. Could turn into 3 or 4 hours overtime. It's busy and there's other calls later. So.
Jeff, do you already have copies of the contracts?
I don't.
Okay. Is that something you might be able to sign?
Do I have one? I have a stack of papers that I can touch down. Okay.
I just think that.
In the next week or
that
two.
my concern there is that, I mean, you know, when I did this overtime history going back to 2000, you know, we only had 14 employees, then we had 50, then we had 16, and we went to 21 in 2018.
Yep.
Our calls have consistently been the same, 2,500, 26, 27, 2,800 are consistently the same. But your hours of overtime have increased substantially from when we had 16 to when we had 21. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. So.
There's Kelly time added in there now, more senior firefighters to accrue more vacation time.
So the hours of overtime, you know, like, and it's hard to tell, and I understand it, but you don't know, you know, what the circumstances were with people coming and going and all that. I get all that. But this feels like it should be a lot more consistent than it is. I mean, it does not look good when you have 21 employees and we put in 4,555 hours of overtime. Or, I mean, it's consistently more.
What year did it start going up?
When we went to 21.
What's the year though?
The first year was 2018-19, and there was only 1,590 hours of overtime. And then there was 1,700, and then it went to 4,555.
So,
And then it's been 36, 37, 35, 38, and this year is gonna be, you know, well over 3,000. I didn't add it up.
So-
With us being at the minimum.
And
Every
that's
time,
going down to 16.
right, so down to 16, you're at the minimum, with 4 per shift. And anytime somebody's off, it's a hole. It's overtime.
So
It has to be
somebody's
filled.
gonna have to sit down and go through this with these like that, because I feel like you should be able to project it. And I understand there's things that come up. I mean, that's the way it is with any.
That's why I
with
projected
any
it
shift.
this year. That's what I did. I sat down and did, like I told you, everybody takes at least 2 weeks vacation. Some are gonna take 3, the more senior guys are gonna take 3. And then I figured in all the Kelly days, I figured in 5 weeks of sick
you
time.
figured in Kelly days as overtime.
Yeah, I have to.
I get it.
So to
Because
Jeff's point though.
If I take a Kelly, if
I
I
get
takes a
this.
Kelly day, there's only 3 on that shift, so I gotta fill it with overtime.
What's a Kelly day? What's a Kelly day?
It's to compensate for the extra hours worked through, because they work 48
So
hours
it's a comp
some
day?
week,
Is it like a comp day?
similar.
Do we have comp days here?
But we can't take comp time because comp can't generate overtime. So the guys can accrue comp time right now, they're not burning.
The philosophy behind Kelly Days was, I think it came initially out of fire EMS, but it was because the math on it is like 2184 hours worked by an employee a year and 2080 is standard full time. So
They
Kelly
average
day.
out 42 and a half a week, I think, is how it averages out.
So
So
the,
when you add that up, sorry.
yeah, so the Kelly days are fairly new, and the way the contract was written, they were also, they were not something you request, they were something the chief says, on this day, you take your Kelly day, that's how it's written in. However, the intention was that the chief is not allowed to generate overtime, but now there's no way to give a Kelly day without generating overtime. So it's not a day that they can request, but the chief assigns one quarterly based on the business need, when the best time is to offer that day.
So, I know that's what.
No,
I guess
please.
from what I was, there used to be people called callmen. And would those people have been used for that particular position? Like when somebody took Kelly Day? Would that be a?
Would a call firefighter take a shift?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
The numbers, Deb, that you just gave us of those hours, I've never seen a contract prior to the one that was 2019 to 2023, but it sounds like the conditions of this contract could be what started this increase. I've never seen the old one, but I wonder if the way that the 2019 to 2023 one, the way it's written, may be the difference. And so, I don't know, I don't know what,
The 24-hour shifts.
They're 24-hour shift.
So what does this time check?
24-hour shifts, 48 hours.
The contract that's.
That shift came out,
23 to 28,
I don't know, never be.
So it's a fact.
this one.
Chief.
Yep.
So do we agree that, the vacation time out, like, one set time, like, past, no. So.
Policy is one fire.
All adults, we should be able to figure this out. I agree with their family and that's what's happening. And there's a concern with that. Management should be able to come up with something that accommodates them. Because obviously it's a safety thing for them and a safety thing for the community. Nobody should have to go to work in the time, or they have to get up and because there's something. Sorry for taking so much time.
You're fine.
No, especially if it ends up being a conversation where what you heard is what
Yeah.
the firefighters want and it's what the board wants, it would be ideal.
Yeah, it would be.
You're not there.
Oh, come grab it.
I mean, you can find it faster than I can. I just kind of like, no, not. Okay, is there anything else?
The only other question I had was, I noticed that in 34 10.2, we budgeted 15,000 and then didn't spend it, which I'm just. You've spent it in overtime, so if you don't spend it, we're not worried, but I just don't, are you planning on spending it, or I'm
Is
just
that in
curious?
this year's you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yes.
We have different.
Well, I just,
for this
so,
year.
yes. There's an invoice that's gonna go out here pretty shortly, some fire gear, I bought 2 sets. And. Oh, looking for it. Yeah.
So that 15 is not gonna be there. I guess it's.
Some of it will be. Nuts.
Deb, were you able to look at anything as far as that, the payroll base, compared to where we were projected and where we're at for the payroll base for the 34 and 10, 40? Okay,
Not seeing something on here, it's on the other sheet that I had.
so you did all point one for repair, so where the overtime is included in that? Okay. For both
Which
departments?
accounts,
Okay.
fire or ambulance, Steve?
Just you talking to me, I'm sorry.
I was, yeah, because I have your, I have the last sheet Jay was sent us here as well. So
Okay, yeah, I got it labeled as test. Sorry, I just had to find it. Oh.
You know what, I remember talking to Owen about this in the clerk's office, so I wonder if he was already off before work started. Because why would he have told me that during?
No, he wasn't, he was on the board when they tried it, but when it was put in the contract,
Oh, no, I know when it was for the contract, it started in a while.
they did.
You know, must have been on my written.
No, I think you're right, I think it was.
Do you have anything for fire here in that? I don't know where it
For
went.
fire gear,
Yeah,
protective gear,
yes.
you have it at 16,000 on the old sheet.
Yeah, where's it at? What line?
Point two, equipment.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So that must have been. Yes. 4 sets. Oh, I know what I meant. Protective gear. Is that what you were talking about, my point two, W? Okay. So. Yeah, there'll be 8,000 coming out of that right now. I made the mistake of telling Hannah today that it would be, that it was gonna be 3 months before I got here, and guess what I found after lunch today when I walked back here? A month. I can't believe it, it's never happened. They were measured a month ago. As long as it fits, I want to get it in, and make sure it fits first, make sure it's perfect.
All right, I do have the minutes on that, just so that we all have them. It says, Mayor Sideri, by the way, Jada, incredible record keeping right here. All right, take notes. So good. Mayor Sideri said that Fire Chief Jackson had proposed changes to the firefighter schedule with a 24-hour on shift and 72 hours off shift schedule. He said the new schedule would allow firefighters to have a more productive recovery time in between shifts, improving mental health and overall efficiency in the department. Trustee Toll said he is not in favor of the new schedule as it is not in the contract. He said the fire chief did have the right to run his own schedule, but he did not think the new schedule would prevent firefighters from leaving. Trustee Elliott said he did his own research. He said he was not in favor of the new scheduling because the emergency medical services the department provides. He said he was concerned having firefighters perform EMS calls at the end of their shift. Trustee Elliott also asked what type of mandatory downtime there would be before someone could respond to a call. Trustee Marciano said her best work is not performed in the 23rd hour of her shift. She said she is concerned about the amount of time someone is on a shift and then driving. Trustee Sherman said first responders are wired and respond differently. The adrenaline is going when responding to a call. Mayor Sideri said he sees both sides and his concern would be performing a transfer after being on a shift for 23 hours. He asked Fire Chief Jackson to consider the board input. So we didn't have any action. He just came to us and told us what he planned to do. We said, we don't love it, but you get to make that decision. And then we had another big conversation with them on not be in the minutes because it was part of our negotiation discussions. But there was an additional discussion as a board when we ratified the contract regarding whether or not we wanted to allow the union proposal of 24-hour shifts to be in the contract, and the determination was made to have it be in there. When was it? November 14th, 2022. It's like you were there. The minutes are great.
I wonder if there's any studies that even talk about the hazards of working 24-hour shifts. I'm sure somebody has somewhere.
Sure.
We study pretty much everything else.
Sure.
No, restaurant business, you work 16.
There's tons of data.
I quoted myself.
Then we
very
train for
well.
8, so that's
Yes.
You don't have to remember it. It's true.
Yeah.
What did we want to do with the next highlighted item, fire prevention? We had talked, last year. 25. We'd stopped the overtime for that, and then we were gonna go to a model that the police have for the community policing overtime.
Mhm.
So, because right now there's nothing.
Yeah, it would be up in your point one. Is how we.
Right, it would have to move from here, and that's why I put it
Right.
in it, and I mean, what's,
I mean, rather than us tell you, and I don't wanna speak for everybody, but rather than us tell you, could you price out what it would cost to do X, like which events you wanna cover
Mhm.
and what that would cost, and then we
Sure.
can make the case
Yep.
from there, rather than us present it?
I'll put that in my notes, and I can go back and look at the past data that was done for different events throughout the year. How many people we had, how many hours of play, and then
And I will say, when you're coming up with this list, something I really appreciate from Christian this year is past chiefs have had some hesitance to using on-duty folks to sweep through an event, like,
oh, no, we did today.
yeah, so when you're coming up with your list, maybe try not to include anything that is a wish list, like maybe we can swing through if we get there, the library's gonna be disappointed if they don't see a person come through and visit their children
Right.
reading about fire that day, but,
Right.
emergencies happen, versus bringing in a guy on overtime to come in and wave at the.
Right, and the one that I set up today, we set it up a couple weeks ago, was like, we utilize an on-duty crew, we did the same thing for Baxter. Medical, like, we're gonna have an on-duty crew swing by, if things get busy, they might not even be there on time, number one.
Yeah.
And then number two,
Might
if
have to
they're there,
reschedule.
we get set up, we might have to leave, it just
Yeah.
depends on the Saturday, if it was a Saturday function.
Sure.
Today's was a weekday, a Fridays could be crazy.
Right, whereas during your open house, you're not gonna wanna leave that to the
Right,
comments, so
or
there's
if
some
we're
events that you're
instructing 20 people on,
Right.
the fire safety trailer. So,
yeah, so as long as you're looking at it that.
fire prevention. OT model. Call it.
Did you just go to the school too, or not? Did you just go to the school?
What's that?
Did you just go to the school?
Christian Academy.
today
the police
was-
went to the school.
Oh, did,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, we did the Orleans County Christian School, I think it's called, on
I mean, do you
63.
normally go to the school?
The Medina schools, yes. Yeah, we do,
Hand out the red fire hydrants and all that?
we take the safety trailer over, so we group the classes and they all go through, it's a week.
But you didn't do it this
We
year.
did not do it this year, we did an abbreviated, I went, this year's subject was very rough, lithium ion batteries, and trying to talk to 6 to 7
So we are still encouraging children to be firefighters,
year olds.
like we used to. I mean, I'm just.
Well, it's
asking
more
the question.
fire prevention.
Yeah, it's fire
We're talking
prevention week,
stop,
yeah,
drop,
it
and
was
roll
a
and all
one
that.
day,
Remember when you were a kid, that was always one of the things you wanted to go to be a firefighter.
Do you do something for career week, right, or do they just take, do you do a video or something for career week? Cause I know
no,
Christian was on.
that was the vehicles, that was like their vehicle week.
No,
where they had-
Yes, but Christian was on a video, cause my kid's friends with his daughter, so she's like, her dad was on the TV.
The videos that we did were for that vehicle. It wasn't a
Yeah.
career week, that was for the elementary school,
Mhm.
it was, the DPW was there, everybody. But no, we didn't do the last career fair that they had, that we participated in years prior, GCC one.
Mhm.
We didn't do that this year.
No, I was just thinking about the one at the elementary school.
Yeah,
where
the
they-
little kids.
Yeah, and then usually we spend the week there during fire prevention week, we get the fire safety trailer from the county. But we're also in the classroom, we have teachers, 2 classes at a time, I believe, cycle, and we do all students in the elementary school.
The prevention is good with the career side of it.
Yeah,
Just
well,
for
that
that
starts the
is-
recruitment at that young age, yes. And then the fire prevention is the key. Start the conversations then.
And
They
Boise
take it
says
home to
something
the
too, don't they?
families, that's the important thing, is getting the kids home and
Boise
talking.
says fire.
Like finding a spot when there's a fire. pick
Yeah,
your
hey,
spot.
mom and dad, you check the smoke detectors, because we talked about that, just having those conversations.
Sample.
Steve Boise still has fire EMS something, right?
They're starting some new stuff, we've got some OCs EMS students, no, sorry. The security students are coming through, they do stuff with Christian, they also come through, there's a student here that's finishing out this week. And then the EMT firefighter program is gonna be coming to the OC Start in September, right, Jack? Yeah, I'm okay with it. This September. Orleans Niagara is gonna have it here, correct?
Tentatively,
Tentatively.
word on the street is enrollment.
Okay.
It's,
When's the truck get
still in.
back?
What that?
When's the truck coming back to
I haven't heard back from Jim.
that? Like, is this normal? Is that, does that make out this is long?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
He does it, the last time we spoke with him, he had like an estimate of the timeline or.
No, he said he was gonna talk to the guys in the shop. He had a bunch of things. Let me just sound it back.
It's not on
And
here.
if it wasn't surplus, if you wanted to use it, you'd be upset because we were paying for a truck that we couldn't use.
Yeah. I get it.
So,
We can,
I just sound.
I don't want people to look at it. Could we schedule something where they could look at it there, or could they not allow that? Okay,
I don't wanna speak for him.
no, I get it. I just, maybe if he
And
says.
I knew he was busy and he laid out everything that he had going on. He was gonna follow up.
He's been getting some inquiries to him, direct. A couple of people I talked to said they spoke to him.
I'm
Oh,
just
sure.
saying.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. To, you know, facilitate it.
So if you're going to put out an RFP for it or something like that, it probably doesn't have to be here to be able to do that if this is the board's intention still.
I'm assuming that it's, people wouldn't know if they wanted to bid on it until they.
Yeah, they want to look at some more detailed pictures. Scott over in Brockport, their chief, he's real interested. Scott
So-
over in Rochester, Michigan, he's real interested.
Isn't
They're
it
kind of just
on the
looking for stuff.
Pierce,
Yeah.
isn't it on the Pierce website?
They, no, on the,
The
so
pictures of
they
the
were
truck?
able to get the build specs off their website, a couple of.
Well, the photos should all come there too.
Yeah,
I'm thinking there's
Okay,
photos.
okay, all right.
A few of them were able to get the
They
specs.
were, yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't want to be unfair to others that inquired that, you know, didn't, you know, get all this information like that. And some physically, you know, come and see it, you know. Trip out.
So I drew up a sample RFP, but I was kind of waiting to see how the board wanted to, what they wanted to do with that other truck too, and if you wanted to combine it into that, to be able to advertise and put it out there if that's what the board wants to do. It's in the infancy stages, but I don't know, with that other truck that we just declared surplus, if you would want to roll that into that also. But, so I do have some things I've begun that I'll pass on.
The update. He apologized, meant to reach out earlier this week. The only thing they're waiting on is a plate for the top of the doghouse. My parts guys ordered one twice. I'll give you a timeline on
What's a
Thought-
doghouse? Go ahead, sorry.
doghouse is, top for the engine.
Oh, okay.
I'll get you a timeline on Monday. I thought for sure now it would be finished. That leads to my next highlighted item that's zeroed out ladder truck testing. What we're gonna do the plan, I guess, after this, so you have a successful sale, you get what you want. Is there gonna be another one?
Right. I guess we would be shopping, so a couple of the chiefs that I've been talking to was, well, what do you have? You know, so kind of, so with the RFP, I think that we would really have to look at, you know, what our needs and our wants would be here and what they have to offer too. So I think it would be a pretty detailed, you know, sale if we were to take one on trade or, you know, how that's.
Does anybody
Trade
that,
cash
like,
Yeah,
type deal.
cash with their 2, three departments have expressed.
You guys are gonna discuss that more. All right, so you'll let me, Jade will let me know.
I know that fast too, I got that done.
Any other questions? for me?
Anything else for the chief before he leaves?
Thank you very much.
I'll be over in a couple weeks.
Sorry?
I'll be over in a couple weeks. Any questions?
Well,
Yeah, that's-
they should probably, make an appointment, make a date with him,
We can,
because, and go over personnel, because that's.
we can sit in the coffee shop too.
Okay.
And, we're probably gonna need facts, because I would assume, but.
Oh, yeah,
Once
I
we
think,
start.
yeah, I know that there's, this is.
Bring the romance for everyone at the school.
The audience.
I think they're black, are they black now?
I don't know much.
I will tell you, my house is sold.
Okay.
I'll probably send people.
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah.
No, we had to have another hat.
Yeah, our little dusty sections.
Okay. So nothing else for the chief? Can he leave?
Thanks a lot.
You don't have to.
We're at 2 hours.
He doesn't leave.
Can we get them off Fridays?
You're the only one with
It's
something.
been a
to do.
long week. This is the third night.
Yeah, we'll try to avoid you.
I'm not feeling pressure.
So does everyone have their calendars out? Chief, have a good weekend.
I still got packed up here as well. Be good, be safe, wash your hands.
Thanks.
It's been, sicknesses has been running through the firehouse. I'm sure it's running through all the neighborhoods.
What day do we not have shelving room there?
Court night is Tuesday.
What's that?
Court night is Tuesday night, so we can't have.
They can come over here.
Well, actually, if you use the other room, the conference room, you could probably have it in. Or one.
Yeah, I would rather go here. This is killing me.
Yeah, I like that better.
This is definitely killing my back. I'm sure everybody else is comfortable here.
Except our workshop.
Our Tuesday workshop.
If next week, it's not Tuesday.
As long as the offer's still on the table.
We can go.
I got some thoughts.
That's practication.
Wednesday,
Okay.
sorry.
So Wednesday the first is no good, but other than that,
They're deciding Wednesday or Thursday, but we can do, it doesn't. Because the courtroom will be open.
Their conference room is pretty big, because they worked on their budget, their conference room.
Yeah, it's big. I saw it. It was like, oh, this is
Sure.
For the board members. I think the board
Well, you don't have to, it's for the board. They'll call you back. You're good. They'll call you back.
I thought we were doing it next.
No,
The next
you're
one.
good. No.
Okay, all right, good.
So next
So,
week,
Yeah,
Not Thursday, Friday.
okay.
Or the first.
Tuesday, Wednesday.
How about what?
Tuesday, Wednesday?
I could do Wednesday if I had to. Tuesday I cannot.
I can't. Wednesday's the first.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can do the first.
Is that
Okay.
April Fool's?
Yes.
yeah, we better avoid it.
So Monday,
Monday the sixth,
Monday the third, like next Monday.
Monday, 6 is.
I can't do Monday.
You can't do
Friday.
Friday,
Really good.
so we're stuck with the 31st.
Which is the Tuesday,
No.
somebody couldn't do it. She
Oh.
couldn't do it.
No, I can.
Scott couldn't do it.
I can do it. Just not.
Okay.
But there's court that night, right?
Yeah, but if you're not gonna use the program, you're gonna use the.
Well, you can do it.
Oh, I don't
I've been to court.
Yeah, but.
Well, we can be in the conference room, so.
Okay.
Was that?
What time?
31st. 31st is good for me.
What time?
31st.
6.
6 o'clock. Okay.
Should we plan an end time?
Yes.
I like to plan an
I
end
like
time.
it.
6 days.
6 to
8.
8? Okay.
So, what day are we doing? The 31st.
This is gonna be the town shelter, so. Conference room.
It's either that or your house.
I will.
I was at SG.
Alright, 31st. Town shelter conference.
Do we want to try to go?
You
After
probably
that,
should.
I can't imagine at 8 o'clock. We could go, well, that was great. Hold on.
We got.
Perfect. 7:59.
Organization meeting, but you wanna know.
I need to leave here the second the organization. So I'm already double booked.
Is, Wednesday's out. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, the first and second out. Other than that,
Okay, how's the
Well,
night?
set.
Oh, you just said no.
No, wait, seven. The seven,
we're already here for the 6th.
just got me.
Yeah, I have to leave. Like, I'm already double booked. I'm supposed to be in Albion at 6.
That's right. The next day, the South.
The seven.
I have a meeting. I have a meeting at 7.
Okay, how about the 8th? Wednesday. Wednesday, the 8th, same time, same station, 6 to 8.
That's right.
We want to wait till this last minute to do it. Huh? Good for me.
Is anybody, I can do the 8th if I have to, if I have to cancel something. Anybody available the 9th instead of the 8th?
Okay.
Can we do the 9th? Can we do the 9th?
What's that, 8th or 9th?
9th.
You
do
do
the
as many as you can.
All right. Okay, yes. We have to have the preliminary day 13th, so that's only 2 more meetings.
Well, I can do the 10th as well.
What's
Okay,
the
do-
time for the 8th? Because I'm sending Jim a text.
Jada doesn't want to do Friday.
6.
6.
Wait, the 9th, the 9th.
He's out of town or, I'm texting John right now.
Oh,
Jim was, he's gonna be out of town.
We should have.
Yeah.
right now he is?
Now, right now, he'll be out there.
Okay, at 9.
Oh, but he usually checks out the schedule and lets me know, but you can take care of it if you want. The building availability.
Is the 9th?
Yeah, he usually.
At 9 or 6 to 8.
Yeah, you're right.
I just usually go through him because
No,
he's.
second is just
double
double
check.
work.
You wanna do it? I'll let you
Yes,
know.
Yeah, you gotta be.
You gotta bring your wife.
Is that here?
Here? Well, I don't know, I don't know if he's been over there. You could find out the schedule.
So the 9th, good?
Yeah, and then I can do anything on the 11th if we need a Saturday session. Can't? Okay.
What was that?
I said I can give any time on the 11th, but Mark's not available.
Oh.
So then,
We're doing the 9th.
What was the date again?
We're not doing it.
We're not doing this?
This might be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does someone send me
6
the
days?
minutes?
Yeah, well, really, if that's it for the preliminary, we probably want to do 6 until whenever, but that's what I'm doing.
I could change those.
So we only have the 31st and the 9th.
I know.
Alright.
So we only need one.
Jay, you go back to and change.
You cancel the sub. No sub.
No, just can't do the 6th or the 7th.
Okay.
Or, and somebody can't.
No, I was going to say, I'll have to get this
No, I do 6, 7.
Well, you're gonna count.
And then Thursday.
Okay. But I was available 6, 7, 8. I didn't want to do things about it.
No, it's me for everyone.
You're out.
Okay.
But if we need the 8th, I just need enough notice to rearrange things. I can change that. I can't change Tuesday or Monday.
Okay.
So do you want to do the 8th first?
Do you think we should? 'Cause the
It
8th
doesn't
is,
matter.
Somebody be.
So the 8th and the 9th.
I mean, we can still meet after the 13th because we can still do something. After the-
yeah, you can go shorter. You just
Yeah,
can't
we
go
can
tall.
take off, yeah, we can take off stuff. So our, this is.
We presented a heavy budget last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, just because we may still have to meet that, those following 2 weeks anyway.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
So let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. 31st. The 27th.
But you have to give it. But the 13th has to be, to give it.
You have to do your tentative. So right now, we would present.
Not that
Yeah.
One line.
Yeah, it's gonna be out. It's gonna be out. That's what we'll
one. Don't worry about the 6th.
Are we doing the swearing in here? Are we doing it there?
It might be nicer to do it either at the office or the shop. The nicest would be at the office.
Might want to read it.
I don't know, that's first time. Might be fun. People
What's
there.
that?
For getting sworn in, it would be nice to have it be.
Something.
It'll either be weird.
So I know this might be a question, but like what's going on in Ridgeway? Is that, do we have anything to do with that area?
No, we have, they got an audit right before we did our audit.
That's the health insurance. That's what it is. Is it, do you guys have health insurance?
Board, no, but a lot of their board was former employees.
Oh, so they're like, oh,
That's how I understand it. It was, yeah, their board was same health insurance, but
they're
they're,
board members. Oh,
they were employees who
Boy,
after
we
their
did
time
that.
as employees, board members, I think that's what they and there was a lot of
How many
overtime.
grandkids?
So you think it was Boots or?
No.
Mistake. Big.
If I don't believe that their town board members receive health. I believe that a number of town board members over the years have worked for the departments in the town and then became board members. I don't think that's super, I mean, Mark was an employee of the village and is now a board member. I mean, maybe I was reading between the lines. I don't think that they're
I was
town
reading
board
between
members.
saying elected officials, so you forget, their highway superintendent is an elected official, their clerk is an elected.
Oh,
official.
yeah.
So I read it as it was the elected officials, not board members. but
Yeah,
the
you're
Yeah, well, I
right.
didn't say board, but I should clarify that,
Who
yeah.
were getting health care.
No, but that makes sense. I didn't think about
And
that.
then I know in some towns, like, there used to be like
Mhm.
county workers. Actually, the village had it years and years and years They would break us now, and breaking us, still breaking us. But, yeah, I think.
I get. So, with it, you know, like, everyone. How do you? When you say, how do you? Oh, no, I'm just, so like, the other thing, it's.
Yes.
But it's like right now, like, we don't realize it, so let's say somebody goes home, they'll call something partial shit.
Yeah, but what I got is, most people come to work here.
So you saw,
You know,
you
I
saw me
was.
on Wednesday night. How did I do?
Yeah.
It was not my best, you know?
He's setting up just the same.
Yes. No, I follow what you're saying.
That too, and I read that. Two which is yeah, just like it's written in the field training officer, you know, like the original. You don't tell them, hey, we have two officers.
Yeah, and for that one, I can't say as much about, for the fire one, we had that discussion explicitly.
Yeah.
So that's a different conversation for which.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of money.
So then, when Jim gets their invitation, because he's going to have a swing out and he had to go there and they take a picture, they'll train you on, I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so, because I asked this, and I just, so I, they have to go up first. Okay, that's it.
So other questions, now that we have the 90-10 split, so for us to get a full figure on our EMS, we have to take out retirement as well. Put it over, we don't want them, because that's another, we don't want them to 1.5. Oh, well, you're bringing 1.3, it's only 2. The number is 1.3.
Because the retirement has to, you know.
No, so the number, after you do it,
Well, what do you mean shift it over?
Because
so it's,
for
yes,
example, it's 9 retirement too.
yes.
So the retirement cost should be that
For, you know, on our EMS, so you can see opening it.
So, but it wouldn't shift over, right? Employee benefits has its own.
Yes, it does.
So it
I'm
doesn't need
saying-
to move.
No, right, no, not move, what I'm saying, when we talk.
Consideration.
Oh, you're saying,
Consideration.
I understand.
Yes, so.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, sorry. Yes, so.
Which is how it should be.
Wow, it's a true.
Technically, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because you're hiring that person.
For running EMS.
Yeah, you can't. You should use, you should use the whole cost.
Because at the end of the day, you get the same people, same responses. We don't, precedence where somebody like, actually. $6,000, it doesn't just. Oh, change the house. No, I'm sorry. I mean, must give it that doesn't take it all the answers. You probably talk. Training. They don't know about it.
No, you can't argue with that.
We'll see.
We do this every year with something
So next Thursday.
No, but yeah. Explain everything like 20 times.
Thank you very much. I still do. It's down to millions now.
Sure, why not?
So get ready.
There's a fancy toilet paper in there, Jess. I said,
That's true.
Mark should have read that.
Yeah.
when you gotta take, hey, Jeff, you were, you could have fit right in there, you were on a roll. All of a sudden, one. No, no, I spent, you know what I love? Okay, well, we are, you were talking about, statistics, and I think you made up here one side is statistics, and then you said, well, what's the other side? I don't know if you ever I did, because I thought, oh, so the others present statistics. You saw it all the time. There's always, I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's.
You gotta go with trend. If you're trending out, it's gonna keep trending.
But I'm very impressed. And you're brand new.
Business.
Yes, I'm seeing that you are hit. You're a hit, Jeff. Jeff is.
All right.